Hello everybody, it's Tommy and welcome back to another video. Today we are doing a create a sim of more Disney Save Townies. These Townies today are based after Beauty and the Beast, and they are also Townies for Willow Creek. We have one more set of Townies that is for the rescuers. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a video for them. Let me know if you guys would like to see that. I didn't get around to doing it before the full save file came out. Let me know down below if you'd like to see that in a create a sim video, but this could be the last one of the Willow Creek Townies video. I will do Townies videos for future sims, future worlds rather, for Evergreen Harbor and that kind of stuff, but we do have the Belle's Village area in Willow Creek, and I wanted to make some sims that I felt like were appropriate for the village specifically, because we will be doing Beauty and the Beast in different worlds. Definitely Windenburg. I would love to do Beast Castle there, and that is definitely the current plan, and there might be some Beauty and the Beast Townies in Windenburg, but I really felt like the village characters would make great Townies here for Willow Creek. So today we're going to be creating 3 that are more specific. We're starting out with the baker, and then at the end we're going to do some general villager characters, and we'll talk about that more when we get there. So first off, yeah, we have the baker. Very simple, obviously a classic kind of character. I decided that he would be included just based after the beginning of the movie where Belle is singing, and you know, she talks about the baker, and you have your very typical roles for any kind of village. You've got like your blacksmith, your baker, your florist, your seamstress, those types of characters. But specifically, I really wanted to include a couple that you get to see so that I have some visual references, and you maybe get a couple of shots in the movie that you can go back for, and maybe some of you will recognize, I guess, more than anything. Because the problem with doing Townies and side characters is that I'm always a little bit worried that people won't recognize what the character is, and that causes some issues, obviously, because I want it to be fully immersive when you are playing the Disney Save. So ideally, every single character would be super recognizable, and I personally don't feel like some of these villager characters are the most recognizable Disney characters. Not that nobody will know them. I'm sure some of you Disney experts would know them right off the bat, but for me, it was just a little bit difficult to like pick who to include. So we have like your generic baker, who is actually based after the live action movie, and then we have the bookkeeper, who you do get to see, and so that meant I had a lot of good reference for him. Their names are the baker, or baker and then a last name, and this is bookkeeper last name. Again, the reason I decided to do that is mostly because I felt like that would be the easiest way for people to be able to recognize them. Now, if you wanted to, you could definitely just rename them. You could join the household, you could rename them, and then you could use them in any given character. So say, for example, Gaston decides to start kind of a relationship with one of the villager characters, you could definitely just enter create a sim and then rename them. And I felt like that was a good middle ground across the way. So some of you, I'm sure, are not going to like that, but it just keeps it really clean and straightforward for me so that I remember all the characters too. Once we get to the end of doing the entire save, there's just going to be so many characters, so many Townies. It's going to be hard for even me to remember, and I'm the person creating the whole thing. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense to most of you. For villager characters, I did try to remember what I had already done previously and what I had established in some of the main characters as far as clothing choices went, and then just carried those same ideas over so that all of the village area characters sort of match each other as far as their clothing goes. So the tights into the cropped shorts kind of a look, and definitely reusing some of the outfits from like Gaston and LeFou, Maurice. They're all sporting like classic villager outfits, and we have to carry like some of the same clothes over. Obviously in different colors, and the characters look so much different from one another that you would never recognize the similarity anyway, but keeps everything kind of cohesive, and you know exactly where they're supposed to be in the save. So now we have this character, and what I'm gonna say is that I am not even going to attempt to pronounce his name, because I have never heard it said, and I am not going to embarrass myself here today. I would rather just admit that I am not going to be able to pronounce his name and move on from here. This is the character from Beauty and the Beast that at the end of the movie takes Maurice into custody to seemingly take him to some kind of a mental institution. He's definitely more of like a villain character. He is probably very traditional and doesn't want anything super progressive for the village. And he's an evil character. In fact, some of the screenshots that I was seeing from the movie when I was looking for side characters from the village to create, he came up, and just a lot of really shady, ugly photos of him came up. So I was like, he's this like grimy kind of villain character, and I really would love another opportunity to do a townie occult sim. I really like the idea that we have like occults within the townies. We have different ages, we have different races, different sexual orientations, all of that good stuff. I really want to include as much diversity as I can in the save, so I want to be able to use everything across the board. And it was basically a 50-50 shot. Do we do a vampire? Do we do an alien? And that particular day, I just felt like doing an alien. Thinking back on it, I probably could have gone vampire and it would have worked just as well, if not better. But this was an opportunity to use one of the two, and I felt like making an alien that day. So yeah, he's an alien. And it doesn't have to make a ton of sense. And again, it's one of those things, he's a townie. If you don't really love him, you can always get rid of him. He's kind of a side character anyway that I'm sure many of you wouldn't have recognized if I didn't explain where he's from in Beauty and the Beast. So he's going to be a little bit of a funky alien creature. And there is also a mod somebody had pointed out to me that you can change occult sims with MC Command Center to change them to different occults. So if you really didn't like the alien aspect, you could always go vampire or just remove it altogether. But I thought it would be a fun little twist to add to, you know, our first alien, I guess, of the save. And again, the alien status will be reserved for other sims later on, and I definitely will have some main characters that will probably fit in that. But for a townie, it's a little bit of fun. It's a little bit crazy nonsense, and his outfit and his clothes, definitely trying to resemble them across the board. But aliens are just weird to dress as it is. There's not really enough options in the game. There's like the one suit, and it really doesn't work. You need to have a couple more than that, in my opinion. Maybe some futuristic clothes, maybe a leak that came to The Sims recently that might be a little bit space-oriented. We don't know. I don't know. If you guys know, you know what I'm talking about, but I guess we'll see. I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want to get into speculation. So, lastly here, we have some of these village characters. Now, these, again, like I said, are generic villager characters. And I basically just wanted to have, like, villager blank running around, being able to have a couple more characters to populate, especially like the area of the village marketplace, and, you know, some random townies that could really fit into Willow Creek and don't look crazy out of place. Because the only problem with doing save files that are dedicated to just the singular worlds is that the game is kind of continuously generate random sims, and they're not really going to fit into the aesthetic of the other sims that I've created. They won't be wearing similar clothing. The time periods just won't line up. It doesn't really fit. So you'll get a lot of really random modern looking sims, and that is obviously something I want to work out of the final version. But for at least the Willow Creek version, we can have a couple of villager townies that fit a little bit more into the main theme. So we have our first villager character here. I realized that all of my Beauty and the Beast characters up until this point, the townies, were all male. So he is our last male character, and then I decided to do 2 females and then a child character just for fun. He's actually wearing the same exact outfit as LeFou, but in a different color, so again tying in some of the same ideas. And I found a screenshot from the animated movie that had like a group of villagers standing together, so I basically took that screenshot and recreated some of the characters. I did change some of their skin tones, and obviously I made a little bit of changes here and there just for whatever I felt like was appropriate, but I wanted to have some reference from the movie, so definitely use that there. And then we have our 2 villager female characters. So these were a lot of fun. They're both really pretty, which kind of wasn't intentional, but then I got into it and I wanted to have, like, I don't know, a couple more pretty looking villager characters outside of the Bimbettes, because the Bimbettes are very good looking, and then Belle, obviously very good looking, and then most of the female villager characters outside of those girls are really depicted as older, I guess you could say, not even like not good looking, but older. So I wanted to just have like some generically pretty townies running around, and they're a little bit different from one another, definitely, but I just thought that they were both such like cute girls. The only other thing to do was basically to figure out what should they wear, and we have this one hair from Jungle Adventure that has some kind of a head wrap, headband, bandana, whatever you would like it to be, already tied into the hair, and that works perfect. Ideally, I would have had even more of like a bandana that can go all the way over the head, and that would have worked out really well, but we didn't have that. We have just this one hair, so I decided to use it for both characters. And I was also pairing them in the Bimbets outfit. So if you saw my Bimbets Create-A-Sim video, I originally put them in dresses that were sort of modern, and the reason I did that was because I really couldn't find dresses that I felt like came in all three colors and looked right and were the right shape for their body type. I really wanted something that was a little bit more, less covered up and shorter and just like really represented their character super well, and I couldn't find one dress that came in the green, red, and the yellow color for all of them. And then it was later on when I was doing some other Create-A-Sim videos, and now that I've done more videos for my Disney Save Sims and I've become more familiar with the cast catalog, I've started to come across some pieces that would really work better for former characters. So if you've downloaded my Willow Creek save file, I actually did update the Bimbets so that they were wearing this really cool dress, which you just saw on the former character in the black. And that, I think, originally, again, it wasn't picked because it doesn't come in red, yellow, and green. It comes in red, yellow, and blue. But I did decide that I would change that out, or at least add it as an additional outfit for the Bimbets. So I was trying to match that onto my villager girl characters, but then ultimately I found that other dress from Cats and Dogs, and it just looks so much better. So I went and changed both of them to that dress. It's like this quilted look, very handmade, very like villager, everyday life kind of a look, and I decided that that would work out a lot better, and I think that they look great. I love them so much. I was like, I want to build a house just for the villager characters that I've made that are completely random and have no like point in the story whatsoever, and just play with these guys. They just look like so much fun. And then for our last character, this is actually the little brother of the villager character that you just saw previously, and he's very simple, meant to be like an additional little friend to maybe like Ralphie or some of the other characters that are a part of the save already. So that is actually going to be the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the Beauty and the Beast Townies. Let me know what you thought of them in the comment section down below. If you would like to support the Disney Save on Patreon, you can do so by clicking the link in the description box down below, as well as at the end of the video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Hit that little bell icon below to turn on post notifications so you can get updated every single time I post. And I will talk to you all in the next one.